Welcome to Bracket Bachelor, the podcast. We take a bracket of 32, 64, 128, or more and banter our way down to a winner. I am your humble of hosts this week, Freddie Fisher, and this is
You're not so humble, lovely favoritist senator of the great state of Bastardom, Bubbles, and this is
I'm Harley from the Asylum with Harley and the Mod Squad.
And I'm Kate.
And we also have the audience in play this week as well, so don't forget about that one. We're doing something special this week. I always try to schedule something each year that we are celebrating the moms out there. Let's get that screen. There we go. No background on that one. Get the screen going. We're celebrating moms this week. We are talking about moms from TV and movies in celebration of Mother's Day. And I am not a mom, as you can tell. I am the dad of the group in this situation. Not a few guys, but I am a dad. And because that'd be really weird considering that some are. Actually, I think I'm the oldest one here. I don't know. And if not, I'm not going to go deeper into that because I know never to ask a woman's age. We do know that Kate is younger than me because we have that discussion. Seems like every time when we do the recasting call, which is where she is from. However, before we get started, uh, we have a couple lifelines today, and the audience vote is not into play. So past the parcel is not into play because the audience is the fifth member today. But we do have steal a vote and blowing a load. Blowing your load. Like always, we vote round robin style on this show. So if you're one of the first ones to go and don't want to be one of the first ones to go, you can blow your load. This means you're going last. If somebody else blows their load after you, you're no longer going last. You're going directly before them, and so on and so forth. If you do blow your load, you will hear this sound. I love that. And the second one, as always, is steal a vote. In the ultimate bastard move, you can steal somebody's vote during this game as long as they are going after you and they have not voted yet. So make sure that they they get both of those. I'm going to start us off today, though. And on the TV show side of this one, it is either going to be Kitty Foreman from that '70s show or Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. And for the life of me, I did not watch Malcolm in the Middle as much, so I cannot remember their last name. So I'm just going to call her Lois. And that should kind of give you the idea of where I'm going to vote because I'm going to go Kitty Foreman on here because Kitty Foreman is the mom that I think everybody kind of wanted to have in general, and even especially back then. So Kitty Foreman gets my vote. Bubbles.
I absolutely love both of these moms. Both of these moms are so unhinged, and it's so realistic compared to like a Disney mom or like the Disney Channel moms. And I am, however, going to go ahead and give it to I'm going to give it to Katie Foreman as well. I think that she's just a doll. Hold on just a second because my tiny humans have interrupted.
Kitty gets a vote. Harley.
I'm going with Kitty because once you have children and you get to my age, because I'll be 40 here in October, so I really like. She's like me. I've become her with all the anger she gets. Well, not really anger, but her anxiety and everything.
And finish this up is Kate, with the exception of the audience. Kate, what's your vote?
I feel like Kitty Foreman's the mom I would want to be, and Lois is unfortunately the mom I am. So I'm going to vote for Kitty for aspirational reasons.
And the audience, by the way, agrees with you 41-4. It is a sweep. Starting us off, Bubbles starts us off on this one. Is it Amy Matthews from Boy Meets World or Jill Taylor from Home Improvement?
I'm gonna go with Amy Matthews. I feel like I watched more Boy Meets World than I did Home Improvement. I mean, I watched both quite a bit, but yeah.
Gets a vote. Harley
Amy Matthews.
gets another one. Kate.
Jill Taylor all the way. She just keeps beating her husband down emotionally, and I am here for it.
The audience agrees with you. I don't know about the entire beating them down, but that
Emotional.
is true though. Like I do enjoy the fact that Jill Taylor has a lot more autonomy in Home Improvement than Amy Matthews does. Now I don't know if that's just because they have a better relationship. If Amy Matthews and uh, I don't know, Tom Matthews, can't remember the dad's name offhand, has a better relationship. But I do know that Jill Taylor and Tim Taylor, Tim's kind of another child. So having to deal with that, I got to give her props. So I'm going to go with Jill Taylor off this one. In a complete turnaround, Jill gets to vote 3-2. Harley, is it from Gilmore Girls? Is it Lorelai Gilmore or Peggy Bundy from Married with Children?
I love Peggy Bundy, but Lorelai Gilmore was a mom that I strived to be growing up because I'm a huge Gilmore Girl fan, so it's Lorelai Gilmore all day.
Gets vote, Kate.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Lorelai on this one. I actually have my Gilmore Girls blanket upstairs on my bed, like a grown ass adult.
The audience, by the way, is going to go for Lorelai Gilmore as well. Lorelai, like, she tied. She didn't tie round one, but I think she tied in every single round going up to the finals. And the way these work is that if you tie at the end of the 24-hour period, both contenders move on to the next round, which makes it a three-way dance type thing. And whoever wins that moves on. But she ended up tying like multiple times in a row. So she ended up winning by like the skin of her teeth each time. Eventually, it did not pan out. So Gilmore Girls gets her vote as uh, their vote as well. And my vote is also going to be going for Gilmore Girls. As a guy, I should love uh, the role of Peggy Bundy more, but I love the show Gilmore Girls, and I am not afraid to admit that either. So gets my vote. Bubbles, finish this up.
I'm gonna go with Peggy Bundy on this one. I'm not giving this one a sweep. And personally, I just really like Peggy Bundy. Bundy, if I can
Like,
speak.
like fuck them kids.
Fuck that, exactly.
Gilmore moves on 4-1 to the next round. Kate starts us off. Kate, is it Peggy Hill from King of the Hill or Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers?
Linda Belcher, and not just because it takes place in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Gets a vote. Audience says between Peggy Hill and Linda, gonna go for Peggy Hill on this one. I'm gonna go for Peggy Hill as well. The dynamics that you have to deal with having a husband like Hank, and then having a son and even a daughter, and having a son. Actually, I think he's a niece. Having a son like Bobby, and still be able to keep your wits between the two of you, between the all three of you, is absolutely outstanding. Linda is just. I think she's part of the problem when it comes to the entire thing. I think Bob, realistically, I think Bob is more
Problem?
like Peggy Hill in Bob's Burgers, plays that role of just trying to keep the people sane. So I'm gonna go with Peggy Hill on that one. Bubbles.
Oh my God, I'm going with Linda. Linda is such a little ray of sunshine. Oh my God. Like everything she does, she's like, I'm going to sing a song to it and it's going to be fine. Yeah. Like,
I think they have meds for that. It
All
is
the
a
Thanksgiving
why
tie-breaking.
songs.
would you want to take meds for that? I would
No, I
love
think that's why. I
to
think
be.
that's why she does that is because she's on meds the entire time.
Oh my God. Maybe I need to be on those. I would love to sing and dance my way through all of the chaos of everyday life.
Like it's just not a Glee episode. Come on.
Every day is a Glee episode. What are you talking
Right.
about?
Exactly.
If you don't
All right,
jazz hands as you
Harley.
check out at the grocery store, you're doing something wrong. 5 minutes.
Harley, tie-breaking
Please, or
decision
not.
for you. Is it Peggy Hill or Linda Belcher?
I'm going with Linda Belcher because Linda deals with those kids. Those kids, all three of them, are a handful, and they're always into something, especially the youngest little girl. So I'm going with her.
Gets a
Louise is
vote. Linda
hilarious.
moves on to the next round. The audience starts us off. On the movie side, it is either, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. I do apologize. From Lilo and Stitch, Nanny, or
Nani.
Nani. Okay, put a little thing there. Nani from Lilo and Stitch, or Elastigirl from The Incredibles. Audience, in a vote of 15-3, ended up going with Nani, or sorry, with Elastigirl on this one, and I'm appalled by that. So I'm gonna cancel out their vote and go with Nani on this one because I want to. Because she's a badass and she has to deal with freaking Lilo the entire time, and Lilo is a badass bitch herself. And then they have to deal with Stitch, which is one of the worst dogs you could ever have in the world. So there's that. Gets my vote. Bubbles.
Nani's not her mom though. Nani's the sister.
Mom.
But she
Mom
stepped in
character.
as the
Yeah.
mom role. She basically took charge when her mom died.
Yeah.
She never took on mom though. She just took on a caregiver role.
Yeah,
So
but
I
is it
She's
I
still.
so?
love Nani. Don't get me wrong.
So
I
are you saying
admire.
that? Are you saying that stepmoms aren't moms?
I didn't say stepmoms aren't moms. I'm
That's
saying
that's pretty much
sisters
what she's doing
are
though.
not moms.
Or not stepmom.
Sisters also know that they're not
Adoptive.
moms and they won't actually fully take over the full role of mom because they had a mom.
Yeah, but the mom's not there anymore, so it's more an adoptive mom.
But it's not. So a stepmom comes in to actually fulfill that mother role as a true mother to a child with a father.
Okay.
Nani, on the other hand, she was aware that both of them had a mom, that they shared the mom together. Mom passed away, and she still carried on that caregiver role so that her sister would not have to go with somebody else. But she never actually took on being true like mom. She still had that sister relationship with her with boundaries.
I would still count that as a motherly role, though, to be perfectly honest.
I
But
agree.
it's your vote, though. There, hun.
Yeah.
Are
But
are you going? Are you going The Incredibles or Stitch?
oh, Elastigirl. Have
Okay.
you seen those hips? Have you seen that, Sav? Have you seen the fact that she traveled the world to like put her husband into place? She was like, "You be out here with other bitches' hair on your fucking clothes?" Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. She went to the end of the world to say, "Absolutely fucking not. I won't tolerate this."
Is that
And
a
then she
big
showed her kids, "I won't tolerate this." I like that.
is that a really big feat though? Like if you have superhuman powers, can you really set judgment at a normal human level? Because me going to the end of the world to set somebody straight, that's a big deal. It'd be like the same thing as Superman flying to a different planet. Is a lot easier for him to do it than me to do it. For me, that would make me a freaking astronaut, and him it's just a Tuesday.
Well, she still had to file a flight plan from like Snug to be able to use the plane to fly it in the first place, and that's paperwork. And I feel like that
That's
still
some
counts as
dedication.
effort.
What kind of love is this? This is the strongest sense of love. Because, like I said, she didn't split up with it. She went over and she was like, "I will not tolerate this fucking behavior, bro."
All
So,
right,
like,
Harley, is it Elastigirl or Nani?
It's Nani because Nani pretty much gave up her life to take on the role of mother figure right there.
Which means it's a tie-breaking decision coming down to Kate. Kate, what's your vote?
I mean, I love Elastigirl, obviously, and the fact that she did want to go track down her husband and, let's just, trust but verify. And I liked that the verification came with a plane and a couple explosions. However, and I see what you were saying, Bubbles, about them being sisters, but one of my closest friends actually adopted her sister. and did take on that mother role. And they were actually older. They have less of an age gap than Lilo and Nani. And as the oldest of five kids, where I was parentified to an extent. And I always say my first child was not the first one I grew. It's actually my youngest brother. There's definitely a relationship dynamic where you put the sister piece on the shelf and you pick up the mom role instead. And I got to give Nani so much credit for doing that, because that she didn't choose to do that. And like, yeah, sometimes kids are accidents, but like this was, not only did she not choose to, when she had the option to choose not to, she made the decision to move forward. Largely because you can't abort a 4-year old. So I'm gonna give it to Nani.
Nani gets to vote and they'll win another 3-2 to the next round. I start this one off.
I feel. Hold on a sec. I feel like the darkest humor right now because I was like, well, technically you can.
You
It's just
can. I mean,
aren't even more so.
that's what
There's no
military
more.
service is for, right? You're fine. You're 4 years old. You're old enough to hold a gun. Just go. All right. Still on the movie side, we have Morticia Adams from the Adams Family, or Stifler's mom from American Pie. I want to vote for Stifler's mom. I do, just because I like Stifler's mom better. But to be perfectly honest, mom to mom, and the momming situation, Morticia Adams would be a better mom than Stifler's mom is. Now, I don't know how Stifler's mom and Stifler's situation was when they were growing up, because it's never really shown. But you see how Morticia is with her kids, the type of thing. So I'm gonna go with Morticia on this one, even though I I like Stifler's mom better. Bubbles.
Um, I'm gonna agree with you on this one, Freddie. I do like Stifler's mom. Like she obviously is like the cool mom that you know the delinquents would have loved growing up. But Morticia, like as far as like being a mom and having like good morals to, I mean, as like weird as the Adams family obviously was, like their morals were spot on, and I
Mm-hmm.
dig that.
So when Trisha gets your vote,
Yeah.
all right, there you go. Harley, Morticia, or Stifler's mom
Morticia.
gets another vote. Kate,
I feel like Stifler's mom would also vote for Morticia Adams.
and and with that, the audience also is going to be voting for Morticia Adams on this one. So another sweep uh, moves on to the next round. Next up, Bubbles. Is it Donna Sheridan from Mamma Mia, or Ralphie's mom from A Christmas Story?
Um, I feel like I don't have much invested in these two moms. Let's go with the Christmas Story.
Christmas Story gets to vote off of this one. Ralphie mom. Mom. Harley, is it Ralphie's mom or Donna Sheridan?
Is Donna Sheridan the one played by Meryl Streep?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going with her because me and my daughter ourselves have a deep connection to Mamma Mia. Like, my daughter's about to get engaged, and um, Slipping Through My Fingers is like the song that she does, and it makes me cry every time I hear it, thinking of my daughter. So I'm going with Mamma Mia.
Gets a vote. Kate.
That was so sweet, Harley. I'm going with A Christmas Story, but that was so sweet.
Audience is going with A Christmas Story as well. I'm going to agree with Harley on this one. I'm going to go with Donna Sheridan. I Donna's the type of person that she realized that she fucked up on the entire situation. I mean, she didn't, because that's just, I mean, life is just lifing type thing. But she kind of feels that way, and she's trying to eventually make amends by the entire end. There's a definite story arc. I think Ralphie's mom, and I'm no psychiatrist or family counselor or anything, but I think Ralphie's mom is just kind of trying to get along, trying to go along to get along in a lot of situations. So, but then again, that's the '70s and '80s parent in a nutshell. So I'm gonna go with Donna Sheridan just for life situations. Last up in the first half of round one, Bubble starts us off. Uh, is it? I'm gonna mispronounce this one again, and I guarantee you, Kate's gonna be able to correct me. Is it Chiquia from Emperor's New Groove? Which the reason she's on here is because she was the first pregnant, openly pregnant character in a Disney movie, or Kangaroo from Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my
And
god.
Bubble starts this one off.
Do I start this one off or did I start the last one off?
One, two, three, four, five. That's five,
I think she
six.
started the Mamma Mia
So
one off.
you start this one off.
Oh.
Oh no, I didn't move. I didn't move Donna over. You are right. It's Harley. Harley starts this one off.
I'm going with Kanga.
Kangaroo. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Kanga gets to vote off of that one. The audience agrees with you, by the way, in a vote of 30-4. I'm gonna go for Kanga as well. I just wanted to mention the entire Emperor's New Groove type situation. Bubbles, Kanga, or Groove.
Hey, Freddie, you completely skipped her.
You skipped Kate
Did
and
I
the
skip Kate?
audience.
No, I said
You
the audience
completely
agrees with
skipped
you.
Kate.
I didn't I didn't skip the audience. I did skip Kate. Kate, I do apologize. I'm trying to write stuff down and do this at the same time. It's not working.
That's
It's okay.
okay. It's hard to breathe and chew gum. I get it.
I know. All right. Sorry.
All right. I'm gonna go with Kanga.
Okay. Now, Bubbles. I do apologize, everybody out there. Shit happens. Is it Kanga or Groove?
I'm gonna go with the Emperor's New Groove. Like she is so sassy. She's like, you gotta be like she's like, you're really giving me this story right now, and you're expecting me to believe this. And then she was like, I got my man's back. She was like, I'm not even going to ask you fucking questions right now. All I need to know is you asked me to do something. You'll tell me later. I got you, boo. That's what she said. That is exactly what she said. She did. She held out and she was like, we got this. And she did it. She handled her shit, pregnant and all,
And her kids are
while
bananas.
chasing her like wild feral children around because they are definitely some of the feral ones. You can tell.
Well, one of them holds a beehive on a stick and lets Yzma go through it face first. I feel like you didn't have to look that hard.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's my vote. She's an MVP. She's not just a great mom; she's a great wife. I'd want her as a wife. Like,
Chaos gets to vote, but Kanga gets to win off of this one. We'll be right back right after this break. Um, I didn't share the question this week with you guys. I apologize.
it's
I
okay.
really should have, but nobody asked me. So
You're right.
oh, ripped it. All right. All right. Before I became a podcaster, I never imagined that all these requests for 5 stars reviewed did anything important. I was very wrong about that, but being the bastards that we are, we're not going to expect you to give up those 5 stars with nothing in return. But I'll trade you for it. If you send us a letter, or question, or anything else you deem needed, along with those 5 stars, we'll not only give you a shout out on the show, but we'll read your submission live on air. We call this our thank you to review. If you want to be part of the thank you to review, it is bracket BRACKETTY the number 2 then R at yahoo.com to get it in. That does not only work for this show, but if you want to be a guest on any of our other shows, that's a perfect way to do that. Um, This letter is from Sally Scouts. Says, "Dear bastards, I love the show but hate the length. 5 stars on Spotify. My question is as follows: What is your number one most see movie before you die? I recommend. Uh, sorry, the number one movie you recommend to see before you die. Number one to see, and number one you haven't seen but has been recommended to you. Okay, there you go. I got too quick on my question there. Bubbles, you're first.
Can I blow my load?
I mean, not on camera, but
um,
you might get some good views that way, but you never know.
I don't know if this is the right place for that kind of broadcasting.
Hashtag OnlyFans.
Not a sponsor, but could be.
It probably pays better than this.
A movie to see before I die or before somebody. Mm,
It's a movie that you recommend people see before they die, and a movie that has been recommended to you, but you haven't seen.
I'm not gonna lie. There's so many things that are recommended to me that I just haven't seen. I don't know. I'm so bad about it. And then eventually somebody turns it on, and I'm like, "Oh, I've been meaning to see this." Um, um, I think A Walk to Remember is a good one to see before you die. And I really wish I had an answer for one recommended to me that I haven't seen, but I'm just going to say Moana 2. I have not seen Moana 2. I've had mixed reviews on it. So,
Yeah, I would not recommend watching that one, to be perfectly honest. It's a definite downgrade. Harley, one movie that you recommend for people and one movie that has been recommended to you.
Okay, one I recommend is Ever After with Drew Barrymore. That's my all-time favorite. And okay, so one I haven't seen is any of the Star Wars movies past the second one.
Uh, for anybody who celebrate, by the way, the day of recording, this is Star Wars Day 2025. So, uh, not it's not my stuff, but go ahead. Kate, your question.
I was about to say Harley, and on this, the most holiest of days. Um, so to watch before you die, I would say What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. If you haven't seen it, it's incredible, and it is especially if we're talking about death, it's a really good, segue to what to expect, possibly. Who knows? Um, and that I haven't watched yet, but keeps getting recommended to me would be Gone with the Wind. Still haven't seen it.
That movie, by the way, will be coming out next week. Just wait to see what we're talking about. My number one movie to see before you die has got to be The Princess Bride.
Oh, it's a good
If
one.
you haven't seen The Princess Bride, you need to see The Princess Bride before you die. Probably when you die, because at least then you're going to go out on a high note. Um, it's like my favorite non Mel Brooks movie out there, type thing. And out of my top 10, I think like three of my top 10 are Mel Brooks movies. Just laying that out there. One movie that I have not seen that keeps getting recommended to me is the entire Alien franchise, and I refuse to watch them.
I'm right there with you. I haven't seen any of them and don't really find interest in watching any of them.
I've seen bits and pieces of different movies, and I've seen people make fun of them, like Robot Chicken and stuff like that. It's just I don't have any interest in stuff like that. So I can't say it's a good movie. I can't say it's a bad movie, but it has been one series that has been recommended to me multiple times, especially with what is it, Romulus or something like that, just coming out this year type thing. So, but there's your answer there, Sally. Again, thank you for Sally Scouts for being part of the thank you to review. If you want to be part of the thank you to review, it is bracket BRACKETTY 2R at yahoo.com to get in. Welcome back for the second half of round one. It looks like Kate starts us off on this one. Going back to the TV section, is it Roseanne Connor from Roseanne or June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver?
Which iteration of Roseanne are we talking about?
From Roseanne, not the Connors.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Well, she's not in the Connors. They killed her off in the Connors.
Yeah, but
Eventually.
Roseanne personally has just gone psycho in
Yeah.
the last like 10 years.
She's made some real interesting choices, and
Yes,
um
this dreadlock.
good for her. Um love that journey for her. I couldn't hear you, Bubbles.
I said I'm so glad she's enjoying or exploring her rap career.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good direction for her. She's such a strong personality.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, character alone, I'm gonna give it to Roseanne because as much as I love June Cleaver, she's popping some Percocets behind the scenes, and that's the only way that smile's staying pasted on. And like, look, game recognized game, but at the same time, like you probably should have like popped one of your kids up to the side of the head by now because they talk about poor choices. Plus, one of your kids is named
Roseanne
Beaver. It's a little on the nose.
Roseanne gets a vote, by the way. Audience disagrees with you. Is going to go on with June Cleaver on this one. I don't know about disagreeing with you about your entire sentiment on why, but at least disagree with you on the actual vote itself. I, however, agree with you. Dan Connor, by the way, is one of my number one dads of all time. Mainly because I grew up and I'm still here in the entire Midwest area, and I know in different parts of the country it's just kind of different where you go, but the Midwest, Chicago, Milwaukee, Des Moines, Kansas City, stuff like that. It's a different vibe. It's a different kind of vibe check. There's the entire Midwest nice type thing, and having a mom out there that's not afraid to be a bitch to other parents and stand up for kids and everything else in a way that's like, nah, you're not gonna do anything. And one of my favorite scenes from Roseanne is when she's teaching a home ec class, and they end up going shopping, and they buy the cheap brand of cornflakes, and her kids don't know. I can't remember who's there, but her kids don't don't know it. But she replaces the bag and just uses an old box of like name brand cornflakes type thing, and it's hysterical. And I'm sitting there going, as a parent, I'm like, you know what? I agree with you because my son, out of my entire household, everybody who has cell phones, the only person who has an iPhone is my son. And when I ask him why, he's like, "Oh, I just want an iPhone." I'm sitting there going, "It's like, dude,
They're better.
they're not, they're not at all.
That's the
Droid,
excuse for that.
droid all the way." Roseanne Connor gets my vote for being like a real mom type thing for me. Bubbles, Roseanne Connor, June Cleaver.
I aspired to be a Percocet mom, but I settled to be a garden mom instead. You know what? I do think that Roseanne is a more realistic mom out of the two. But I do like the sweetness of June. Um, and I do think that she should get like a vote. So I'm going to go ahead and give her my vote. And yes, it is a pity vote.
Well, either way, it's also a tie game.
Oh,
Harley,
because the audience voted. I forget about.
you forget about the audience,
I
man.
did forget about that audience vote. Sorry, audience.
Harley's tie breaking decision. Harley, do you want to know who she's facing in the next round?
No, I'm good. Okay, so I'm going with Roseanne. My favorite episode is where they win the lottery, and Jackie comes to the house with the lottery ticket. She comes running out of the bedroom, and she's in her sweatpants and her bra. And she jumps on the couch, and after they get the lottery, she jumps on Dan's back. Like, that's normal human right there. Like, that whole show is normal. What us basically us modern people go through, middle class.
Roseanne moves on 3-2 to the next round. Next up. Oh, by the way, for Harley, we have an entire thing that if you a tie breaking decision, but you don't want the other people to know, but you want to know, you have that option. You just got to let me know, and I can talk to you directly without the other people knowing. Type thing. It's actually kind of cool. Audience starts us off though between Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch or Rainbow Johnson from Blackish. Carol Brady gets that vote from the audience, 12-4. I don't care about either one of these, to be perfectly honest. I don't watch Blackish. I watched a couple episodes. It's just not my vibe. Um, Probably because I just don't get the jokes a lot of times. And Carol Brady is much too June Cleaver to me type thing. So this is a because Rainbow Johnson got so uh, kind of bombed out in the entire audience vote. I'm gonna go against the audience and gonna go for Rainbow Johnson just to tie it up. It's my entire thing. Bubbles, Rainbow Johnson, Carol Brady.
I was also going to go ahead and go with Rainbow Johnson because I already kind of gave my like picturesque mom pity vote to June.
June Cleaver.
Yeah.
And she still lost. Harley.
I'm going with Rainbow because, like, the Brady Bunch, that whole family is all kind of, they seem like they're all on something to be that happy all the time.
I mean, the song literally is "Come on, get happy." Oh, come on, get happy. Wait, or is that the Partridge Family?
The Partridge Family, I think.
The
All right.
Brady Bunch is where they're all in the square.
Yeah, I think
Either
their
way, I
song
was
is
talking
just
about the
the Brady
song, so that
Bunch.
joke didn't land. Kate, Rainbow Johnson, Carol Brady.
I'm also gonna go with Bo. I love her. She reminds me of my sister-in-law, and I also love that she's just strong, a strong woman character, and she's a good influence for her daughters and her son. And I just love her. I want to be her
So
friend.
all of us voting against the audience today. 4-1, Rainbow moves on to the next round. I start this one off. It is either it's a battle of Fox. It's either Marge Simpson from The Simpsons or Lois Griffin from Family Guy. I I like Lois more as a parent, as a person, because she's more of a badass. Marge is kind of in the background a lot of different times. But mom for mom, I think Marge is a better one. So against my better nature, I'm gonna go for Marge Simpson on this one. Bubbles, Marge or Lois.
It is kind of a bummer because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, you're right. Like, Marge kind of has more of a sidekick vibe where Lois gets more of like that main character action. Um,
Like, can you name a single episode of The Simpsons? Simpsons been on for 700 episodes at least at this point. Can you name a single episode where Marge was like the focus of the episode?
The one where she flattened her hair, where she ironed it.
Is that the one where they kind of went back in time for it though?
They go back in time, but she's the focus of the episode, and it's about accepting like who you are and how you look. She had blue hair, and she ironed it at camp, and it turned brown, and that's when she first met Homer. And it goes through, so it's a very Marge centered story.
Oh, okay. See,
They're there, but they're
I
far and
don't
few
remember
between.
that.
yeah.
I've seen every single Simpsons episode.
It's hair, of course I remember it.
Part of the bebes. But the point is, like, I don't remember that one. But there's multiple episodes where Lois is like the main, if not the only character in the entire show. And there's Simpsons uh, episode list is 4, 5, 6 times longer than Family Guy is, and Family Guy has still made Lois a, higher character than Marge is in The Simpsons. But I still say Marge is a better mom than Lois is. So
Yeah, I was
there's
gonna
that.
say character wise, I think Lois is the better character overall. Mothering wise, I would say it's Marge as well. Um, I will go ahead and go with. I'm gonna go with Lois. I'll go ahead and go against Freddie on this one.
Yeah, you are. Lois gets a vote. Harley, Lois or Marge?
I'm going with Lois because Lois looks pretty hot in lingerie.
No offense, so does Marge.
Yeah,
In
she
the
does.
Simpsons movie, dude, that little nightie that she had in the entire, uh
And Lois is a redhead. I have a thing for redheads, so
so do I. But all right. Lois gets that vote. Kate.
I also am with you guys where I think Lois is a more interesting character. I think I like Family Guy more as well too, but The Simpsons is truly more of like an ensemble cast. Like they do focus on each one individually, but it's not you don't have as many storylines that are clearly centered on one member of the family. They do bounce around a little bit more. But I am going to go with Marge because again, I think when it comes to being a mom, I think she is the better mom. She also doesn't constantly talk about how she meant to abort one of her kids, like with Meg. So, and none of her
Meg.
kids have intentionally tried to murder her multiple times. I feel like that's probably the sign of like at least a semi decent mom.
The audience agrees with you, by the way, and this is why I tell the audience is important. This is if it was just between the four of us, it's a split decision between the four of us. And my thing keeps glitching, and I have no idea why.
Okay, I thought it was just me.
Oh,
Okay, like I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I know occasionally things happen that don't actually happen for me. And I'm like, is this happening? Because I'm just seeing like it just flash. And I'm like,
I have no idea why. I may have to figure out get different camera use. Try to get one of those like 6K camera type things. You actually see every single bad pore that I have on my face. Um, but as far as the audience goes, this is the reason why your guys' vote is important because between the four of us, it would have been a tie-breaking. It's a tied decision. You are the tiebreaker on this one, 3-2. Marge moves on to the next round with you. Bubbles starts us off. Is it Jane Jetson from the Jetsons or Chili Healer from Bluey?
oh my goodness. So like my little boomerang heart here wants to go with Jane Jensen because like but overall there's Chili Healer. Like obviously we know which way that I'm gonna go. I love Miss Healer. Sorry, not Mrs. Healer. She is just a cut above the rest. Sorry. I aspire to be a cartoon dog these days. She's got my vote.
Chili Healer gets a nod off of that one. Harley.
okay. See, my kids are all older than y'all. It's like my youngest is only 13, so I'm not a Bluey parent. So I'm gonna go with the Jetsons.
You don't have to have kids of a certain age to watch Bluey. Let's just say that. By the way, for everybody out there, behind me in this direction, there is my Bluey stuff as well, and the entire Bluey background and all that stuff going on. I'm a huge Bluey fan, so you do not have to be a parent of a younger child to enjoy Bluey. In fact, it's actually kind of better if you're not, because then you don't have to worry about having to wait on your kids to watch the show. You can just watch the show. Jane Jessen gets that vote. Kate, is it Chili or Jane?
It's gonna be Chili Gila.
I love how you said it.
I know, and why wasn't that not a voice that you pulled out?
That's more an accent than it is a voice.
It still works either way.
We started to
Chili,
get into accents. I think we didn't get to go down the full rabbit hole.
I'm gonna have to. I haven't. I've gotten you on backstage. I'm gonna have to get him on backstage too, and just have you two like as a duo type thing. That way we could have an entire episode of just doing bullshit like that. That was a shit ton of fun. Which is the reason why I kept it in the show because it was a shit ton of fun. Audience is gonna go for Jane Judson on this one. I don't think they're big Bluey fans, however, I am a big Bluey fan, and Chili Healer, ironically enough, one of the main quotes that Chili Healer is known for is, uh, "I need 15 minutes where nobody comes near me." Which one, it's kind of a bad thing to say when you're a parent, but then you'd also realize that it kind of makes you a very understandable parent. So, because I feel that way too at times. Chili Healer gets my vote. And I am so glad that when I said that Bubbles face. Anybody not watching this should watch this. Bubbles face when I said Chili Healer just lit up. So I think she has a new number one pick as far as this one goes.
Yeah, just so everybody is aware, I am not giving away my secrets because we're all bastards here. I can't tell you
Yeah,
guys. I mean,
Chili moves
actually, I'm
on.
pretty sure y'all figured it out. But either way, I can't say it out loud because then we'll for reals do the bastard thing.
Chili moves on to the next round. Faces another 3-2. Harley starts us off. Harley in the movie side. Is it the bride from Kill Bill or Molly Weasley from the Harry Potter series?
I'm gonna go Molly Weasley from the Harry Potter series because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Gets a vote. Kate
Yeah. Not my daughter, you bitch. I mean, how could it be anybody besides Molly Weasley?
gets a vote. The audience agrees with you, by the way, which means it is a 3 and out. I'm gonna do a bubble check on this one, and I'm gonna kill this sweep and go with the bride. The bride literally went on a killing spree. Like Molly Weasley killed one person. All right,
That you
pretty
know
much
of.
that I know of. Like the bride literally went out and killed a mass of assassins. So not just normal people, but like assassin type people for her kid.
Bellatrix Lestrange is arguably an assassin, and I thought we were talking about best moms, not highest body count, in which case I would win.
But she was not aware her daughter was alive until the end. So she didn't go on a killing spree for her daughter per se. She more so went on just a revenge. Like, motherfucker, you tried to kill me and you ripped my baby from my belly, assuming this baby is dead. So it really, like, it was more of a revenge, not a I'm going to go and retrieve my child.
So it's a literal mama bear.
Well, she didn't know that she was necessarily a mom, though. She just point she was just a bear.
Well, either way, gets my vote. Bubbles
She was
finishes out.
also a mass assassin prior to this as well. So
Yeah, it'd be like being
he
really
was just
impressed
doing.
that I did a bunch of home health aid scheduling to save someone.
I mean, that's kind of what you do, though, right? Save
That
save people by doing that.
so I'm saying if you're impressed that I'm saving lives, but that's like my background. It's not as impressive.
Right.
Molly Weasley's over
Not
here
as
just making
impressive as
custom sweaters. She's got an Etsy shop. The fact that she's out here also murdering, phenomenal. Big
right.
change.
Bubbles, bride, Weasley.
So I don't know if anybody else like has seen the way that she treats. So when they go and they like take Harry Potter from his house in the flying car and bring him back, and she's like losing her shit rightfully on these kids because like my kids take my car, I'm gonna be like, the fuck is your problem? And but also having that separation to say, hey, good morning, Harry. I understand this wasn't you, and being able to kind of separate being a parent to your kids and also having the kindness to a child that's also been abused and starving and all of that, and then turning it around, like hearing her child like, oh, he was starving her mom, and then she was like, she heard it but she was like, no fucking excuse for your ass, let's go get some breakfast, Harry. Like being able to do that, be the stern mom and be the kind mom all in the same like almost sentence is phenomenal as far as a parent is concerned on that end. And yeah, no, absolutely. I murder for my kids 100%. Somebody comes up to me, would you kill for your kids? No question asked, absolutely. I will not even blink. I will feel no remorse. My kids will always come.
I always say I look great in orange and not afraid to rock it.
I'm smart enough not to get caught.
It's fair
I
enough. I
mean,
feel like I watch enough murder
I did
documentaries.
grow up in the South, and I do have family that have pigs. So
yeah, that's the thing. I'm in Iowa. I'm not telling you to do it, but that's what happens.
Don't
Uh,
forget to gather the teeth and hide them somewhere deep.
I'm in New Jersey. We literally have a national park dedicated to bodies that we just dump in the woods. It's
Sweet.
called the Pine Barrens. So I
it
feel
helps
like
grow
I'm
the
good.
trees.
I'm close to
It's like,
desert.
do you want haunted forest? Because that's how you get a haunted forest.
That's
The forest is
exactly what I
already
want.
haunted anyway. It's why we let it catch on fire every once in a while.
Right? We just got to show him who's boss.
Exactly.
Uh, and again, everybody out there, it's only a crime if you get caught. Until then, it's just a modern day experience. The more you know. Weasley moves on 4-1 to the next round. Next up, Kate starts us off. Kate, is it Ellen Ripley from Aliens or Mrs. Voorhees from Friday the 13th?
I don't think I know who Ellen Ripley is from Aliens.
Yep. Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, okay. So remember we were saying earlier about like Alien and how some like you hadn't seen any of
Mm-hmm.
them, or yeah, the old closest I've come to watching any of them is there's a guy in my neighborhood who owns the Predator motorcycle helmet.
That would be cool, to be honest,
So,
though.
I and then I guess I'm gonna go with Mrs. Voorhees. Isn't her son the bad guy? This is a horrible decision.
I know, right?
So wait, so
well,
we're going with
she
like
killed. She was
murderers.
the actual like original killer because she
Yeah,
killed
she
first.
like in
She
the
was
first
Oh.
killing
movie.
for him because they picked on him.
Oh. I feel like when we just had this discussion about killing for our kids, I feel like that's the exception to the rule. Like we're someone picks on my kid, I'm not going to murder them. I'm going to make their life miserable. There's a big difference. Like
Right? Like,
that's the easy way.
I mean,
exactly.
Also, my kids
didn't
are
the
like
kids in
small
the
children.
campground kill Jason in the first place? Like drowned him in the first place?
Yeah, they did. That's why she
So
went on the massive killing spree.
yeah, like not only teased him and everything else because he's different, but killed him by drowning him in the lake.
Okay.
It's fair enough.
So would you kill
What
for
would
your
I
kid?
kill kids for it? I don't know. Like,
I feel like
They're
that
not kids; they're teenagers.
those are still children.
No, they're not.
Um, this is hard and not in a good way.
That's what she
Which
said.
is not what she said.
it is a hard decision because I couldn't imagine my kid dying, like, or being killed by somebody. And
Like
then
I'm
it
sure
be my kid being killed by somebody, like, technically, like a minor. Like, what do you, because I'm here, like I said, I'm like, look, I'm out to do this, but now we are involving other kids, and it's like,
I just feel like it becomes a cycle of moms killing kids, killing moms, kill. It just becomes a really weird PTA meeting, and those are already awkward. So wait, what? So
What?
what's for aliens? Is she's a mom, or is she does she birth the alien?
I've never seen the movie. I couldn't tell you.
I think
Oh,
she birthed the alien.
well, I mean, my kids are half illegal aliens, so I guess I'll go with her. We have that in common.
Wasn't wasn't Jason like a special needs kid too, or something like that? Like his
The
Yeah,
way you said that sounds like you're trying to justify him getting drowned, though.
it's
no, I was just
like it makes it worse. He was special needs. Now,
I
hold on
was
a second.
making
I
it
might
worse
be
for the
back on
people who
this other
killed him.
side of the fence here.
Because it's I mean I was making it worse for the teenagers that you guys are supporting on this one. Uh,
Because that's true. I do get hyped up and angry about, like, because I see on like TikTok and Facebook and stuff, like, videos of special needs kids like being jumped on like pussies. Like,
Yeah.
they're already special needs. Like, Are you really like? Are you really worried that they, as a person, are stronger than you? Because that's a fault in you, as not in them. Like, good for them for being stronger, and you're afraid you can't take them on yourself. But either way,
What we really should be doing is voting against those kids' moms because clearly they didn't love them enough. Um, but I'm not voting. I'm not pro murderous teenagers hurting disabled or differently abled children. I'm pro. Some of us have grown little half aliens in our uteruses, and one of us might be doing that currently. So it's a solidarity thing between me and Sigourney, apparently. And we both have red hair, so it's fair.
Ripley gets that vote. Audience agrees with you. It goes 10-4 on that one. I'm gonna vote for one of my really good friends out there. She's a huge Friday the 13th fan, and she knows who she is. So I'm gonna vote for her on this one. Mrs. Voorhees gets my particular vote. Bubbles, Voorhees or Ripley?
um, so I have actually seen the Alien movies like once each.
That's
Do I
all it's
remember
needed.
any of them? The like most distinct thing that I actually remember, like when I'm thinking back on these movies, is where they're like in the waterfall and they're covering themselves in mud so that like they can't be seen by the like heat sensors that the alien guy can see them with. That's the only thing that I can actually remember from those movies. Jason Voorhees, on the other hand, I remember him. I don't really recall much of his mom, but I remember the Jason X where he was on the spaceship quite vividly. That was a cool one. I'm gonna go with Mrs. Voorhees. Um, just out here murdering children, I guess. Like she's population control.
I mean, they are
No one
teenagers,
else
just
to go.
sex crazed teenagers that are going to summer camp. Speaking of that, of the entire Jason X, the Jason in Space movie, by the way, one of the kills from that movie, I haven't made this list yet, but I guarantee it's going to be on it. Where Jason dumps a woman's head in a vat of like uh, li- liquid nitrogen, and then crushes her head on the steel table, is going to be part of the list when we do it for Halloween this year on 10/19 for the funniest horror movie kills, because it deserves to be on that list. Tie game for Harley. Is it Ellen Ripley or Mrs. Voorhees?
Okay, so my favorite band of all time is Ice Nine Kills, and they have a song called "Jason's Mom Has Got It Going On," and it's about her. So I'm going with her because, well, she killed for her son because he was disabled, and they killed him, and that's my favorite song. So there we go.
So it'll be forever known as Jason's mom instead of Mrs. Voorhees now on this board.
Jason's
Jason's
mom has got it going. That's all I'm thinking. I've not heard that song, but I know what band you're
Oh,
talking
that's
about.
how it
I
is.
like
It's exactly they use that beat and everything.
that's even better. Like I've heard a couple of I don't recall that song, but like I know their like current one where it's on the like Terrorizer movie. Can't think of the name. Don't come at me.
Art of Dying.
There we go. I like that one. And then I've heard like a handful of other ones. That's just kind
Most
of
of their
popped up on
music
my
is
Pandora.
based on horror movies.
That makes
Well,
sense.
Jason's mom is finally moving on to the next round, 3-2. Audience starts us off. It's either going to be Evelyn Wang from Everything Everywhere All at Once, or Sarah Connor from Terminator. And audience says Sarah Connor off this one. I'm gonna go with Evelyn Wang. This is a movie I would recommend as well. It's kind of a mindfuck movie, but it's just a good movie. Like it's one of those movies that you go in there not expecting much. But when I tell you to go in there expecting much, expect much, because it's a damn good movie to go watch. So Evelyn Wang gets my vote off of that one. Bubbles, Wang or Connor? I know.
I've actually not ever seen that movie, so I'm gonna go with Sarah Connor.
Get to vote. Harley.
I'm with Bubbles. I've never seen that movie, so I'm going with Sarah Connor.
Gets another one. Kate.
I would like to join the I've never seen that movie, and I would like to be on the bandwagon and vote for Sarah Connor.
You can come join us.
It's gonna
You're
be a
more
good
than welcome.
time. It's like a hayride. Jason Voorhees' mom can come.
Let's hope she does. Sarah
Because
Connor
we
moves on
told her
4-1
she's
to the
got it
next
going
round.
on.
I start us off and finish off round one. It's either going to be Kate McAllister from Home Alone or Leanne Tooley from Blindside. I Leanne's a better mom. Let's admit that. She really is. I'm aware of that. But like Kate McAllister went through hell just to get her kid back, and the dad didn't do shit. So I'm gonna go for Kate McAllister on this one. Bubbles, Kate McAllister or Leanne Tooley?
Do you know how much shit she gets for leaving her kid at home? And you know what? Like, I rewatched it. I was like, how did this happen? I'm like, nah, there's way too many kids. I know exactly how that fucking happened. Okay, I chased around. I have in my existence chased around 10 tiny humans in the last 10 years that are now. I'm still chasing these tiny humans that are now adult humans. Okay, so one getting forgot totally makes sense. I don't blame her, and she definitely gets my vote because she came all the way, but she rode lengths to get home to her kid.
5 minutes before the dad did. Uh, Harley, Kate McAllister or Leanne Tooley?
Okay, I love Kate McAllister, but I'm going for Leanne Tooley because of the fact that she took that boy in and gave him a family and became his mother. So that's why.
Gets a vote. Kate.
It's really hard. I I love what Leanne Tui did in the movie, but I've heard some like controversial things like for the real life basis.
Yeah.
So I feel like dirty voting for her. I'm gonna give it to Kate McAllister, who I also, by the way, 100% can see how kids got left behind. My uncle had 4 kids, and one of his got left behind when they went to a farm once, like at their house, and that was just 4 of them, and it was because her brother just didn't bother to say anything when he noticed that the sister wasn't in the car.
I would
He
like
was
to
like, "I
say
guess she's not coming, even though she's 3."
Kevin uh being alone at that house, especially that house, like they had food, they had water, like it was heated and everything else. Shelter's fine. I don't know what the big deal was at that point. He was 8 years old. Obviously, he could take care of himself. No, not knowing that the robbers and stuff was there, which would have been fine. I mean, the robbers could have just ransacked the house, and the parents would have had to take care of it, and it wouldn't have changed anything if Kevin was there or not. So, like, realistically, leaving a kid behind, not that I ever would do intentionally, it was blown way out of proportion. So having a mom care that much is uh says a lot. So and the dad not care that much, I blame the dad more than anything else.
He,
Perfectly honest.
he threw out Kevin's plane ticket
Yeah,
when the milk spilled.
and there's a theory that was on purpose.
I Not that I would blame him, but I would believe that.
No, something to do with like tax fraud and
Oh,
ransom and stuff like that. Because like he works for the mob, which is why he can afford the house and everything else. And uh, it's a there's if you guys want to go down the rabbit hole of Home Alone fan theories, it's a rabbit hole. Just let you know.
I think we discussed that on recasting call as well when we did that episode.
You
Uh,
know, as an adulty adult person in my life at this point, and never will I ever encourage my kids in this lifestyle, but one or two things that I regret is one, never joining the mob, and two, never becoming a good drug dealer.
I
I'm
mean,
great
you'd
at
have to be
both
really
of
good at
those.
math for that.
Being poor.
I mean,
You're just in the wrong state, Bubbles.
when people
Over
say
here.
crime doesn't pay, those are the people that got caught.
Crime pays great. It's just
Yeah,
expensive to get into.
Listen, drug money is what has kept America going, okay?
yeah. There was an entire scene in, I believe, the Ozarks, like the show, the Ozark, about a kid was talking to, like, got in trouble in school because he wrote something down on a piece of paper or said something in class, and the kid literally described about, hey, no, if it wasn't, it's the entire say no to drugs campaign, and he wouldn't sign off on it.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there going, it's like, if it wasn't for drug money, this country wouldn't be together today, because
Yeah.
because drug money has kept this country afloat.
Drug
So
money and STDs.
yeah, Kate McAllister moves on 3-2 to the next round. Be right back right after this break. As a podcaster, I have the ability to have some really cool guests on our show. My first really cool guest I have this week is Harley. Harley has not only her own show, but she's also on other shows as well. Harley, how you doing today, there, love?
I'm doing pretty good for the most part.
Happy future Mother's Day, by the way, as well next week.
Thank you. So,
You want to tell us about your shows a little bit?
well, I have the Asylum with Harley where we do true crime, horror, all kinds of different stuff. And I'm with the Mod Squad Network where there's, of course, the movie show, the horror show, the gamer show, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm sure there's more to come with that network.
And on top of that, we also have Kate. Kate, who, by the way, is a mom to 2.5 children at this point. I say half because Kate is not going to be with the recasting call for a bit, because she's got some other stuff to take care of. Kate, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. We have strategically placed puke buckets around the house because morning sickness turned into 9-month ordeal of all day sickness. But thankfully, 5 weeks and 5 days left theoretically, with this giant baby. So that's how I'm feeling. Um, but
You want to tell
otherwise,
us what you got going on?
yeah, say otherwise for what's going on. So obviously recasting call with my lovely co-host Freddie, and I am a stand-up comedian, so perform up and down the East Coast. You can always check my Facebook where I'm listed as Kate Laverne, or Instagram where it's the same thing. I post new shows, secret shows, those kind of things. I host the Don't Call Me Shirley comedy show last Sunday of every month at someplace else in Waterford Works, New Jersey. The next 2 months, so for the month of May and June, Big Rick Korik is going to be guest hosting while I am busy shoving this human out of my uterus. And then I will be back in July. And then also you can find me online. I write children's books. So I have two of them available on Amazon. And the next one, which is another alphabet book, will be out in September, depending on how much this child does or doesn't sleep post birth.
By the way, to the rest of the people out there, I have found out that at the end of this year, so as we're done for the recasting call at the end of this year, we'll have enough movies to actually do an entire Bastards tournament of all the movies that we've done on the recasting call. So, and Kate has been part of it. Would be at least half of that the entire time period by the time we get to the far. So, congratulations, Kate, and the recasting
You.
call for that one. Welcome back for round two. Looks like Bubbles starts us off. Bubbles, in the TV section, is it Roseanne Connor from the original Roseanne or Kitty Foreman from that '70s show?
I'm going to go with Kitty Foreman. I love her moments like where she's so put together so often, and then she's like, absolutely not.
Are you fucking stupid? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kitty Foreman gets a vote.
Starts dumping
Harley.
her tequila in her blender of margarita.
Yeah.
Kitty Foreman.
Gets another one. Kate.
It's got to be Kitty Foreman. She even takes in her son's best friend and has him just live in her house like her kid. I love her.
Uh, Kitty Foreman gets a vote from the audience as well. So 41-8 total. I'm gonna go for Roseanne on this one. Roseanne's the mom that I've always wanted. She's also a little bit more the realistic mom that I think everybody, at least in my area of the redneckery, had. So I'm gonna give. I wouldn't call it a pity vote. I call it more of a fucking up the sweep. I'm gonna call it a bubbles vote. Um, and for now on, everybody else out there who I'm gonna tell people this: every time you do it just to fuck up a vote, fuck up a sweep, I'm gonna call it a bubbles vote. Even though Kevin's the one who kind of mainstreamed this, Bubbles has been doing it lately, so I'm gonna do it. This is a Bubbles vote for me. Uh, Roseanne is gonna be getting my vote 4-1. Kitty moves on to the next round. Harley starts us off. Harley, Lorelai Gilmore, uh, or from the Golden Girls, from Gilmore Girls, or Marge Simpson from The Simpsons.
Lorelai Gilmore.
Gets a vote. Kate.
Sorry, this thing glitched.
I'm still trying to figure out why mine's been doing shit. So, all right. So we're gonna skip Kate for right now. Audience is going in a vote. By the way, between it's a vote of 29-28. Audience says Lorelai Gilmore off of that one as well. Kate, did you get your stuff fixed? Did you break your stuff? I think she's having issues. Bubbles, Gilmore, Marge.
Um, I'm gonna have to go with Gilmore Girls. I do like Marge Simpson as a mom, but I do think that Lorelai is a little bit better of a mom, a little bit more, I guess, more modern. Maybe is what I feel with Lorelai.
Gets a vote, and that would make it 4 moving on at least. So it's going to be no matter what. Kate's vote is going to be Gilmore moves on to the next round. All right. So that would make it down to 4 of us, which means, well, maybe. All right, you get working? I I can
I
hear
can hear you
you.
just now. Sorry,
Okay,
I couldn't hear anything and I had to
that's
leave
all
and come
right.
back. I didn't mean to interrupt.
In the words of Verizon, can you hear me now?
Good.
Okay, good. All right. Uh, is it Lorelai Gilmore from the Gilmore Girls or Marge Simpson from The Simpsons?
I'm gonna go with Lorelai. I think she had a harder, being a harder shake at it than Marge in a lot of ways, even with Homer as her husband. At least he's
Bart got a
bringing in money.
Bart got a tattoo at 8 years old. I mean, like,
Yeah, but she didn't give it to him.
Well, like I said, Lorelai just feels like the more realistic mom.
yeah.
I mean, obviously because Marge is a cartoon, but
Gilmore moves on to the next round, 5-0. Kate starts us off. Kate, from Lilo and Stitch, is it Nani or Molly Weasley from Potter?
I'm gonna go back to Molly Weasley again.
Gets a
Love
vote.
not Molly.
Audience and a vote of 40-3 is also going to go for Molly Weasley. I'm not going to do the Bubbles vote on this one. It's a Molly Weasley for me as well. Bubbles.
I don't know about anybody else, but I often have in my head, Ronald Weasley, where have you been?
I don't do the howler. How dare you steal that car? I am absolutely disgusted.
Oh, Ginny, we've heard about you making Gryffindor. See, again, that just like, look, I can discipline, but I can still be the sweet mom. Absolutely. Molly Weasley.
Gets another one. Harley, finish it up.
Molly Weasley.
5-0, and another sweep moves on to the next round. Audience starts us off. It's either going to be Ralphie's mom from the Christmas Story or Sarah Connor from the Terminator. This is 3-2 to 4-1. Audience says Sarah Connor in a vote of 30-14 gets a vote. I'm not going to go that way. I don't know why Sarah Connor gets the mom role anyway. I don't remember the Terminator movies, so I can't say that she's either a good or a bad mom, to be perfectly honest. But I know Ralphie's mom is a super sweet mom. If you want to talk about June Cleaver and who's the other one, Carol Brady, I think Ralphie's mom was a super sweet mom too, but she had a little bit more punches to have to roll with. So Ralphie's mom gets my vote off of that one. Bubbles, Ralphie's mom or Sarah Connor?
Um, I'm also gonna go with Ralphie's mom. Honestly, I just enjoyed the movie a lot more.
Get to vote, Harley.
Ralphie's mom.
And Kate.
Definitely Ralphie's mom. I always really loved the way she kind of like swept his fight under the rug so his dad wouldn't find out. Like that's some good momming right there. Like I handled
In
it. He
all
was a good mom.
honesty, as moms, how many times have we swiped things under the rug that our children have done so their father doesn't find out?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. We do that as dads too.
Yeah.
So
But here's one of the things. So I know that my husband, he has more of an emotional response to things, whereas I often have more of like the rational response to things. So with me having that rational response, I prefer to like know about it sooner and be able to decide, okay, do I need to rationally take care of this, or do I need to go ahead and do I need to bring that emotion into this so that we can have something that like meets in the middle?
Yeah. I'm the same way with my husband, and my mom was the same way with us, where she's more of like the actually my mom works for DIFUS, and literally her job is to teach parents how to be parents, which is, no pressure on me. Um but I think that as dads definitely do the same thing, but I think both of them are coming from different places with the same results. Because you notice she does mention in the movie, she's like, "Oh, Ralphie had a fight. I gave him a talking to. It's all fine." And he's like, "Oh, okay." Versus if she was like, "Ralphie had a fight today," and then just let the dad take it from there, then like there's a reason Randy's hiding under the sink.
I mean, I think it depends on the topic at hand too, because especially the entire fighting situation. Like I know my mom would handle it different than my dad would. My dad would, especially if I lost a fight, would be teaching me how to fight at that point because he's like, no son of mine. I'm not saying this is my dad, but dads in general. Uh, no son of mine should lose a fight. Blah 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 blah. But moms are just a little bit more protective than dads are. Like that's my baby type thing. Dads are you're gonna have to survive in the world without me eventually. So I need to prepare you to be such and such. Uh, the reason that I would give not to tell my wife about certain things is one, small things. Like if it was a small indifference type thing that I didn't find funny. If it was fine, if it was a funny thing, I'd tell her, but it would be more of a, it's like, you know what our kid did today type thing. They got in trouble for it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just going to be that kind of thing. But if my kid did something like outside, skinned his knee on the ground or whatnot, perfectly fine, no bruise, not cut up, cried for about 5 minutes, and then got up and walked away. I wouldn't tell my wife about that because my wife is a very protective type person type thing. So there'd be a lot of mothering involved, and by that point, she'd have more to worry about than what was needed to be worried about. And that's one more thing on her shoulders that does not need to be there, respectively. So me sweeping it under the rug on something that I deem to be solved is something that she doesn't. It's just protecting my wife from something that she doesn't really need to solve herself because it's already been done, type thing. So it's just,
Well, it's kind of more of like a need to know basis. So, like,
yeah.
it's not that I'm keeping this from you to hold it as a secret. It's, look, you have your own pile of things in your own world on your shoulders. I have my own world. I just happen to be the one to include this in my world. And you don't really need it in yours because I handled it. Like, it goes this, it's the same for both. It's because I know, I mean, like, even though I just talked about Josh and his like emotional response, I get overstimulated often, and so he'll shield me from that. He'll be like, "Oh no, I already handled it. I got it." And so he does keep me from it as well, but I don't know. I think like the emotional, like, oh, like the example of the fight. That would be something hopefully I take care of first, because that initial response is, I'm going to teach you how to fight even though you didn't win this time. Next time I want you to come back, and I don't want you to have at least don't come back with a black eye, like, and that I don't know if is always the best for the right now, but maybe it's one of those, like, maybe a defense lesson would be later, but right now when you're doing it, it kind of like you're kind of like hitting that soft spot. I already got my ass kicked today. Like, why am I going through it again? I'm too exhausted.
Well, I think it does depend on the topic too. If you take the idea of the child away from the type situation, you give something that is going to affect the other person in a way so they don't know about it, so it's not really going to affect them. For instance, uh, we're getting a brand new couch this week, this Tuesday. One of the first big furniture purchases that we've had in many years. Most of the stuff we get is secondhand or whatnot. I have the choice. Like, if I sit down there after lunch, had a big lunch, and I rip a really, really, really big fart into this couch. Okay, brand new couch. Later on, six hours later, my wife is going to be sitting in that same spot that I was sitting in 6 hours before. Fart's gone. Okay, no smell, no damage, whatnot. Am I going to tell my wife about the fart that I ripped there, even though she's sitting in the same spot? No, I am not, because realistically, it does not affect her, but it is going to affect her more if I tell her.
It's only going to affect her if there's just a little residual that comes out with the fart.
If you had to use like a cleaning solution on it afterwards, like then maybe safe. But I think
Yeah.
that's also goes back to, is it this something that occurs as a normal part of the day? Like you saying, falling and skinning your knee. That's not necessarily worth mentioning unless the fall and knee skinning had something that was a precursor, like your brother whacked, or with the brother whacked the other one in the head with a truck. He fell down and skinned his knee. The events leading up to it might be important, but falling and skinning your knee, rerunning the washer 9 times a week. Like, those are things that we don't need to necessarily bring up because it's just a part of living.
Well,
Exactly.
that too. I think it depends what kind of evidence you got left behind. If somebody falls and if somebody breaks their arm, you're going to have to tell the other parent about that,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're going to have a cast on for the next 2 months. Somebody skins their knee, if it doesn't require a band-aid, parent might not the other parent may not even notice unless the kid takes a bath or something.
Hmm.
So it's the requirement at hand about solving the problem that is the actual issue of it.
Yeah.
So if you can sweep it under the rug like Ralphie's mom did, sure. You're not lying to them. It happened. I solved it. It's over.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Type thing.
And that is communication. That is being open with your partner, um, as well.
But with that though, there's a difference between being open and being filtered.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to tell my wife everything that happens, because a lot of it may cause more damage in the long run than it would just not telling her in the first place, type thing. I'm not saying be secretive. I'm saying be selective.
Right.
Make
Like it's one of those, like you said, what kind of residuals left behind? Obviously, a skin knee is going to have a band aid. I'm going to say, oh, what happened? Oh, skinned my knee. Cool.
yeah.
Feel better? Is it all good? Like, did you clean it?
Are
Those
you
are
gonna lose a
probably going to
leg?
be my follow up questions. I'm not gonna, unless there's like a big story that like it's going to be like, oh, I'm glad you worked through it. Good for you. I didn't have to be there. Good on you. You know, like that's it. That's a step towards independence.
Yeah. Either way, Audie can start that one off, which means I start this one off. Next up, we have on the TV side, we have Jill Taylor versus Rainbow Johnson. I love Home Improvement. I really do. And Jill Taylor's, especially knowing what we know now about how Jill and how Patricia Richardson, I think her name was,
Hmm.
or her name is, and Tim Allen did not have a good relationship backstage. Like they kind of hated each other, but she still did a really good job in portraying the badass woman that would actually just stand, not only stand up for herself, but stand up for her kids, and just also stand back a little bit, knowing that it may hurt them a little bit, but it's not going to kill them. So they're going to have to learn a lesson eventually, type thing. I'm going to go with Jill Taylor on that one because just just more my type of mom. Bubbles, Jill Taylor or Rainbow Johnson.
I'm going to go with Jill Taylor because I haven't seen as much Rainbow Johnson. Um,
Blackish.
yeah, I've seen a couple episodes, but it's not one that I've had the opportunity to like sit down like when I was younger with Jill Taylor. So I don't feel like I have the same like TV relationship with the other. So I'm gonna go with Jill Taylor on this one.
Gets a vote. Harley
Rainbow Johnson.
gets another one. Kate,
Yeah, I mean, I love Bo, but Jill Taylor is so much like my actual mom in real life, especially back before, like when I was younger, with how she and my dad were. My dad was a big car guy, um, and to see her interactions, she's also just a really good mom. She makes sure her kids are exposed to different cultures. She takes time to, make sure that when they are doing something that maybe isn't as feminist or as positive as it could be, she's correcting them on it and calling them on it, and she's just a really solid mom and partner.
there was that entire laundry episode where they forced the kids to do the laundry and made sure that this entire man not doing laundry type situation doesn't last another generation.
Yep.
Which so and speaking of that, as the guy in the household here, I have sons too, but as the guy in the house, the adult male in the household, I do the laundry. I make dinner. I do all that type of stuff as too. So if you're a guy out there complaining about, hey, that's woman's work, shut the fuck up and change the damn diaper too. Damn it! I don't care who you are. If your wife has gone through so much shit, especially if it doesn't matter if it's C-section or natural. Your wife has gone through so much shit. Take care of the shit that you can take care of, including the literal being fucking diapers. Just take care of it. I would say be a man, but like that's not a gender specific type thing. You douchebag. Audience, by the way, is gonna be going for Jill Taylor on this one. It's 25-4. So Jill Taylor moves on 4-1 to the next round. Bubbles starts us off. Bubbles, is it Linda Belcher or Chili from Bluey?
I love Linda's like silliness, but again, we have Chili Gila, and she is the goat. Like I know she's a dog, but she is the goat, hands down. I need 20 minutes where nobody talks to me.
Gets a vote. Harley.
Well, I haven't seen Bluey, but just that whole I need 20 minutes thing, I'm going to vote for her, but just because of that. Because
Harley,
I
I actually think
four
you would
children,
enjoy
I
it.
feel that.
there's that's one thing. Like I want a home improvement type show, but with Chili and Bandit.
And the girl's just running chaotically in the background,
Yeah, like I
doing their
do. We were talking. We did the versus episode talking about what Bluey character deserves a spinoff. By the way, Bandit wasn't even listed on the like we had they came up with this was Nancy and David did this one, and it was 16 Bluey characters that deserves a spinoff. And uh, yeah, it was. I think that'd be a fun show. Is just to have a home improvement style show where the adults are pretty much the main focus, but you have the kids in the background. Still
Oh
make
my
it a
god, is
cartoon.
Coco's family on there?
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Because she's got what, 9 children?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Coco and her family, they or Coco's mom has 9 children. Like she's got 8 brothers and sisters. Like what kind of fun chaos? And I
And
think that's what you're doing a great job. Like I want to see that little bit of struggle that she went to accept that about herself.
and she's not a religious nut. She just, procreates because she can get it.
Right? I just having fun.
Hmm.
Speaking of that, Kate, is it Chili or Linda
It's forever Chili Gila.
gets another one? Speaking of this, between Linda and Chili, both of these they're actually tied as far as the audience vote goes with 6 votes apiece. So I'm really glad that we found a winner on that because if we didn't, I'd have to figure out which one had the bigger loss of the two previous ones, and that would have been 6-8, and Linda would have been 4-11. So Chili would have ended up getting the audience vote on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Chili as well for the audience. Chili gets my vote as the so 5-0 for that, and that's like a tiebreaker type situation as far as that goes. Is having to dig deep into the actual bullshit to figure that out. Chile moves on 5-0, faces another 5-0 in the next round. I do apologize for that matchup, but I don't apologize. It's going to be a fun one. Harley starts us off. Movie side, is it Morticia Adams or Jason's mom?
Morticia Adams.
Apparently, Jason's mom does not have it going on. Kate,
I do like that her movie name is my due date because I'm due Friday the 13th. But Morticia Adams is objectively the better mother.
keep it if you can. Like if you can give birth that day, give it on Friday the 13th.
I'm kind of hoping so, but right now, if she makes it to term, she's projected to be a 10-pound baby. So I'm sort of hoping she comes early for safety's sake.
If it provides you any comfort, my niece was supposed to be a 10-pound baby. She was like 6 pounds.
Okay. Well, if she's born in 4 days, she'll be 6 pounds. She already weighs 5.5.
Morticia gets that though. The audience between Morticia Adams and Mrs. Voorhees, it goes to 30-4. Morticia gets that vote as well. I'm gonna I'm gonna go for Morticia for my wife because she's binge watching that show. Bubbles, Morticia Adams or Jason's mom?
Um, so again, I'm gonna go with Morticia because I feel like overall her just like values are fantastic.
5-0. Faces another 5-0. We have two battles in the quarterfinals so far that are both sweeps. Last up in round two, Kate starts us off. Kate, is it Kanga from Winnie the Pooh or Kate McAllister from Home Alone?
Oh man, this is weirdly difficult. Kanga's single mom in it, and she's got Rue, whose best friend is a ADHD obnoxious tiger, and she's just out there like making them feel good about themselves as people. So I'm gonna go with Kanga.
Kanga gets a vote. Audience between Kanga and Kate, it is a 30-9. Kanga gets that vote. I'm gonna go for Kanga as well, making her move on. Bubbles, Kanga or Kate?
Um, I'm gonna go ahead. I am gonna give mine to Kate. It's, I guess, kind of a pity vote. Because I would like to give mine to the single mom, but at the same time, I do think Kate at least deserves one vote.
And Harley, finish us up.
I'm giving it to Kanga.
So we have in the third round coming up, and the quarterfinals coming up. We have two five. We have two matchups of 5-0s going against each other. The other two matchups are 4-1s going up against each other as well. So that should be kind of a fun thing to go off. Kate will be starting us off when we get to that, but we'll be right back right after this break. Bubbles, what you been up to?
Uh, you know, I'm here.
Not
I
much.
really haven't been doing a whole lot over here on my end. Just living the dream.
One nightmare at a time.
Exactly. Just setting out one fire, one at a time, as three others start. But I'm still floating somewhere.
That reminds me of Simple Favor. Another Simple Favor is up on TV. I got to watch that one of these days. It looks good. I am your host, Freddie Fisher, and I host multiple other shows. I host this one, as you can tell. This is Bracket Bastards. If you don't know what this is by now, you are definitely not paying attention. One of the other ones, one of the many other ones we have, the Central Booking. It is our wrestling. It is our pro wrestling podcast where every other week we take on a new challenge. This upcoming challenge, we are talking about Money in the Bank, some of our favorite stuff in the past, and we are booking our own Money in the Bank with current WWE wrestlers. We're recording that this upcoming week. Bastards Backstage is an interview show where I take on a guest where there's 20 questions and millions of answers. The new show Versus, where our guests not only pick the topic of the show, they pick the contenders of the show, and they also pick the winner of the show. It is a bracket for the guests alone, and we've had many different types of topics. Last but certainly not least is a show that myself and Kate host. She is my co-host, and it's called the Recasting Call. We take a movie made before 2000 and recast it with people from today. Some uh, old movies, new flavor, couple rules involved with that one as well, but you're going to have to figure out what that one is. We just got done doing Spaceballs. Spaceballs is officially out on the Bastard channel now as of the 1st, so a couple days ago. It is if not my favorite episode, it's pretty freaking close. Out of the 20 some ones that we have done so far. So make sure to check that out. We also have Die Hard coming up. We have a special baby episode for Kate as well, and a new edition. We're doing Treasure Planet in the future as well. So make sure to check that one out as well. All right, update. All lifelines are in play. Nobody has used a lifeline yet, so make sure to check that out. The steal votes. Next 4 votes are the last time to use it. If you don't use a steal a vote beyond or until that point, it's gone. You don't use it, you lose it type thing. And then again, blown a load goes all the way to the end of the game. Welcome back for round 3 and beyond. It looks like Kate starts us off on this one. Kate, it is my marker went somewhere. There it is. Kate, it is either Kitty Foreman from that '70s show or Jill Taylor from Home Improvement.
I like Jill better as a character, but I think in my mind I'm seeing her more of her role as a wife in this circumstance versus a mom. So I'm going to give it to Kitty as one of the ultimate moms. And she's a nurse. Like she's out there taking care of people and coming home and hasn't murdered her children. Like that's phenomenal.
Get to vote. The audience, by the way, between Kitty Foreman and Jill Taylor in a vote of 41 to 25. Kitty Foreman gets that vote. I'm going to give it to Jill Taylor on this one. And I'm going to I'm going to steal Harley's vote because uh, I think Bubbles would get my drift more on this one than Harley would when it comes to this, and I need to use my steal a vote. So, Jill Taylor, for the reason I think Kitty is the mom that we all kind of want to be because we're all mom. I'm not a mom. I'm a dad, but still, because we all come from really stressful situations, and Kitty just kind of has a way to look beyond this type of situation. It may be maybe alcohol infused still, but I think Kitty is the fun loving character that we all relate to, but I think Jill Taylor is the one that we should be. Because Jill Taylor is the one, like, I don't remember what job Jill Taylor had, but if I remember right, she had multiple jobs throughout the actual show length of the entire thing. And her main indifference, her main point in this is because she had multiple jobs because she needed to fit into her schedule. And going on, she's the one that made sure the kids were on time, bus schedules, took care of all the school projects and everything like that. And there was no alcohol involved except for wine every once in a while. So I'm not saying alcohol's a crutch, but I would like to say Jill Taylor kind of managed it better. I like Kitty more as a character, but I like Jill Taylor more as an actual mom, if that makes sense to crowd out there. So uh, before we get to Bubbles, because it is a tie-breaking decision, and no, we do not know who is facing in the next round. Harley, what would have your vote been?
It would have been Kitty.
So I'm glad I stole it. Let's see if it made any difference. Bubbles, what is your vote?
So I feel like I do relate in that way to Jill Taylor because I am the parent out of the three of the parents that take care of all these hordes of children that I have around me all the time. I have the flexible schedule. So I do the Uber Eats, I do notary, so I can stop right now and jump and do whatever the kids need right now.
And that's a
So I do.
sacrifice too, by the way. I don't care what anybody says. There like my I'm in Bubbles vote where Bubbles boat on this type of situation where a lot of the jobs that I have multiple delivery type stuff. None of that really has health insurance, and a lot of the other perks that full time job type stuff has. So for everybody out there who don't think they're doing a good job because they do the Uber Eats and DoorDash and other part time my own schedule type stuff, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I
uh,
do the seasonal so I have the summer off with the kids when they're not in school, and I
yep.
work when they are in school.
And
So
I do feel like that is often the mother's role, or that ends up being what it is. I feel like even to this day, even as much change as we've had, even to this day, it's more often. So Freddie, you were saying that with your flexible schedule and stuff, you were, I would say, in the minority of most men in that,
mhm.
because usually it's the female that has that flex schedule, as I was saying for my situation too. And
Choosing family over work.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. And like when we opened our business here, I straight said, I was like, look, we absolutely need somebody who can be that flexible person. And as soon as we open up here, and as soon as my daughter's in school, I'm done. I'm gonna just kind of pick up little things here and there. to kind of fill in wherever we need. But so I do relate to Jill Taylor in that way. And then, like I said, I am a garden mom, so like in both ways. So I'm home a lot of the time. So now my whole backyard, I've got lots of things growing excitedly. But Kitty, on the other hand, I feel like often I relate to her in the sense that like she's chill, she's chill, she's chill. She's already said it 3 times, and now 1 out of 5 teenagers smoke, and one of you better have a lighter. Like
Hmm.
so like I feel in that sense I also relate, and I think I laugh a little bit harder with Kitty, and that's going to be my vote. I am so sorry.
No, I
My vote.
shot my shot. That's all that I could really do.
That's,
I,
I
I
mean,
had a
like you shot it right.
I had a reason behind it. I was trying to convince the person to convince. Didn't work. Kitty moves on 3-2 to the next round. Audience starts us off though on this one. It is either uh, Molly Weasley from the Harry Potter series or Matisha Adams from the Adams family. In a vote of 30-40, Molly Weasley gets that particular vote. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna go for Molly on this one. I mean, I like Morticia as a mom. I think she's a better. I'm not gonna say she's a better mom than Molly is. I think that's kind of a push vote, realistically. But as a character, I like Molly more than Morticia. Morticia seems kind of flat to me as a character wise. So Molly gets my vote. Bubbles, Molly or Morticia?
I really like both of these moms. Like I feel, and I can't even give this vote to the audience because you know what? Fuck us. Just fuck us all the way right now. Because this is a difficult vote. We need to have like a new life. We need to have a phone a friend or something. Uh, do we have any? Do we have a live audience vote? Let me
We
just ask that.
we don't actually right now.
Um, you know what? I usually like to wait till the end, but you know what? Maybe I will wait till the end. I'm gonna go with Molly. Something's telling me vote for Molly.
Molly gets a vote. Harley, Molly Weasley, Morticia Adams
Molly Weasley.
gets another one. Kate, finish us up.
I am also going to go with Molly Weasley.
5-0. Molly Weasley moves on to the next round. Uh, there are no pearl necklace options left. By the way, I don't know what the last one was because I wasn't paying attention to it. But there, I will tell you that there's no pearl necklace options. The only one close to it was actually Molly Weasley, but I knocked that one off in the first round when I voted for the bride because that's the only vote against Molly Weasley so far was mine. So,
Yeah,
and
fuck you.
I don't apologize. Um,
You should.
there's 2
Agreed.
votes left, and like the 3 of you still haven't stolen a vote. So keep that in mind.
It's because we're polite, Freddie.
We're moms. We're looking out for each other's emotional health.
It's a Mother's Day episode. We got to at least do that.
Well, and I'm
Yeah, if
gonna
anything, this actually shows what great moms we are, and down with the patriarchy. You're over here stealing votes, and we're just lifting each other up.
And still doing mom things. I'm pretty sure each one of us have muted at one point to speak with one of our tiny humans.
Yep. Or heard them thunder overhead and pause to wait for the cries.
Right
I'm
out
in
the
the
window.
yeah,
process of
I'm
dinner
a
and
little bit
doing
more of
this.
the thundering bit right now.
Say, right.
But I will take a bullet for you guys right now because it's going to be a really hard matchup. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to think about it. Uh, it is either going to be Lorelai Gilmore from the Gilmore Girls or Chili Healer from Bluey. I'm gonna go for Chili on this one. I do love the Gilmore Girls. Don't get me wrong; it's a damn good show. I will admit that I watch the show every once in a while. I'll watch the first like 5 seasons. Anything past that, it gets way too fucking complicated. But I'm gonna go for Chili on this one. Uh, Mom for mom. I know she's a fucking cartoon dog. She's also well, with the exception of Kanga, she's the last cartoon on the actual thing. So I'm gonna go with Chili. Bubbles, Chili or Gilmore?
Um, so I'm not really a Gilmore girl. Like, not that I don't like the show or anything, but I never actually like had that Girl obsession like my cousins and everybody else did. Um, I am, however, the healing, so I'm gonna have to go with that healer.
Chili gets a vote off of that one. Harley.
Okay, I'm gonna still case vote, and we're going for Lorelai Gilmore.
After
It's
all
just
that
because she
about the
didn't want to
entire
hear me do my
patriarchy.
Australian accent again.
Oh my god, because I know where the audience is going too, because I think that Chile was knocked out first round in the audience vote, wasn't she?
Chile was knocked out in the first round with the 6. It is 29-6 with the audience vote. Lorelai Gilmore moves on to the next round.
Damn it, I really didn't play that one right.
You
Nope.
know what? Even with her being out, though, you're doing right.
3-2. After all that talk about like not stealing votes and everything else, you break my heart there, Harley. Actually, Harley wasn't making a comment about that either. It was the other people on the screen. Last up, uh,
No, I was just saving it until a really good one came, and I
yeah,
knew Kate was gonna vote for.
100%. Freddie's like, this is a hard one, and I'm like, no, it's not.
it was for
Arlie
me.
planned that well.
I'm a fan of both of them. So Harley starts us off, or Bubble starts us off. I do apologize, because I started that one off for you guys. Thank you for saying that, by the way, Kate, because I was completely off on my own shit. Bubble starts us off. Is it Ralph? This is the last time to use your steal a vote. Ralphie's mom or Kanga?
I don't really have to use my still a vote. I'm gonna go with Kangra. Kanga.
Kanga gets a vote. Bubbles, the steal a vote is off the board. Harley
Kanga.
gets another one. Kate
Also, Kanga.
also gets one from the audience. I'm going to go for Kanga as well. The audience vote, by the way, was 30-14. Kanga is the only one to move into the final. Well, I take that back. Not the only one to move in the finals with a sweep.
It's the only cartoon to move into the finals, though.
It's the only cartoon
Yeah.
to move into the finals. All right. So Kate's Sheila vote is off the board. Everybody's Sheila vote is off the board. Only Blown a Load is left. Harley starts us off. Harley, you get to choose between one of these to start us off, all right? Either Kitty Foreman, Kangaroo, Lorelai Gilmore, or Molly Weasley.
Let's go for Kitty Foreman.
So your vote is going to be either Kitty Foreman or Lorelai Gilmore.
Oh, fuck. Lorelai Gilmore.
Gets a vote. Kate.
Kitty Foreman. She didn't have rich parents to fall back on. She just had a really bitchy menopausal mother.
Audience between Kitty and Lorelai in a vote of 41-29. Kitty gets that vote. I'm going to go for Lorelai Gilmore on this one. Battling Kate. You know, like I don't know as a girl, or for everybody out there, this is an issue, but I know as a guy, the heart, the shot to the heart it takes to ask for help, especially from your parents, especially in a world that you absolutely hated growing up in. If I remember right, Lorelai did not
To the
like this type
point
of
she
situation
left
she was in.
that
Mm-hmm.
world and
Yeah, to the point that she went
working at
out
a
on her own as a single mom, which mad respect to single moms out there, being teenage mom, not knowing what the fuck's going on and still going out there, dude. Lorelai, the character of Lorelai Gilmore has my mad respect, flat out.
like she worked all those jobs to support her by herself. It was crazy.
I agree, but I would say at that point she was acting more in her own self-interest than Rory's, because she took her daughter out of a secure home, and she could have still gotten that job at the end. She could have done something and then removed herself from the situation, but she put herself in a risky situation with a small baby, and she did not need to do that. And in that moment, she was thinking, what do I think is best, not what is best for my baby? So I give her a lot of credit for doing that, but at the same time, she could have still made those moves and removed herself from that world in a way that did not potentially endanger hers and Rory's living situation. That was a huge gamble to take, and she got really lucky.
She did
But
get
she
she did get really lucky too, but she was also the type of person to realize that the type of situation she was living in with her parents was not the type of situation that she wanted that her daughter to grow up in. And no
It was
matter how
toxic.
no
Yeah, but
matter
she
how
didn't need to
long you stay,
she didn't need to stay for her to grow, though. She could have spent the first 2 3 years saving her money up, moved on from there. But in
which
that
would
moment she chose, I don't want to be here anymore, and that's more important. I also think it was very, I love Lorelai, don't get me wrong, but looking at it objectively, she also made a lot of really immature decisions along the way. And to be fair, she and I in this TV show were basically the same age. And watching her make the decisions she makes even as an adult, there are times where I'm like, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, we're better than this. In
I
a
mean,
loving way.
don't get me wrong, Kitty Foreman does some pretty shady shit too.
She does, but I think she also, like, we're talking about living circumstance, it's very clear a lot of pressure is put on her early on from her mom and dad, who have a similar dynamic to Emily and Richard, just without the wealth. But she manages to balance that relationship so that she still has a relationship there, and her kids have the opportunity to have relationships with them while policing them and trying to keep it healthy. And I think that takes a lot of maturity to do, to admit that this isn't, a great situation, but I'm going to try to find a way to have communication open.
But I also think having that wealth also gives the parents a lot more power to go off of. So if you're talking about people who you have to battle your parents and your kids at the same situation, I do understand putting your kid in a difficult situation. But if you go to battle your parents as a parent as well, but your parents have a lot more sustainability, are on a completely different playing field than you are, that takes major cojones. So
It does.
as far as Kitty goes, being in the same fight, even if she was in that same fight, and like I don't think Kitty has such an estranged relationship with her parents as, or a difficult upbringing with her parents as Lorelai did with hers.
They don't go into it as much, so I think there's no way to really know for sure. But again, I'm just going off of the overall, once you become a parent, it's not about you, it's about your
Yeah,
kid and putting them first. And then if we see throughout the time, there's times when she puts Rory first, there's times when she doesn't, and that's fair, especially because Rory is a teenager. But I think if we go back to the very beginning, what she does and doesn't do, um, I don't think she should have stayed with Chris by any stretch of the imagination when she first found out she was pregnant. But to potentially put yourself in a situation where you're homeless versus where you have a home you can be in, that always just sat kind of wrong with me, because again, it's not about what you want, it's about what's safe.
decisions apart from this, I think it worked out for the best of both worlds though in the situation, because Rory is now, she grew up in a lot more of a grounded type situation,
Hmm.
and nepo babies, which is kind of what Rory is, uh, nepo grandbaby, I guess, and grandparents have a tendency to dote on kids more than parents do.
Hmm.
So I could just imagine what a nepo grandbaby be. So having the ability to grow up in a more grounded world, and then have the ability to go into the world that she should have been in a part of in the first place. I think this situation turned out to be the best that it could have been. Period.
Mhm.
So there's that. Either way, uh, all that talk. This turned out to be a harder decision about the entire Chilean Gilmore one was. Bubbles. Is it Kitty Foreman or Lorelai Gilmore? Tie breaking decision.
I love when I get these tie breaking decisions.
Always on a Sunday.
I know, always on a Sunday. I want to know exactly what Lorelai's parents did so awful that she like risked homelessness. Okay, because I mean, like, don't get me wrong, there are absolute situations like homelessness is way better than what's going on right now. Well, homelessness for my kids way better than like being here with you and your like crazy
They were
ass.
trying to force her to marry Christopher, and
Because it looks bad on the family, being a rich, wealthy family and having your kid uh, not be with the person that had a kid with.
But later on, they show that they're not forcing them, like that they've made the decision that she's not marrying him anyway.
But they've also learned from their mistakes by trying to push somebody who's definitely not going to be pushed. So, which brings back the entire ballsy type situation. And uh,
But
and
I
again,
still
mean,
through the whole
point on
show,
it.
they were still trying to push Lorelai and Chris together, even at when Rory was a teenager.
But I mean, on Kate's side of that, though, like she could have played her cards right. She could have said, "Yeah, I'll be engaged to this guy. I'll be engaged to him for years, for as many years as it takes for me to get the fuck out." Like, you play the long game here. That's the smart way. That's the mom way. Like, we
Hmm.
play the long game here. Um, Kitty Foreman is hilarious. And when you like had said something about a crutch and everything, sometimes those crutches are absolutely needed. And as we know, I'm a garden mom, so there are days where I absolutely do need that crutch of, you know, broccoli or broccoli infused goodies. Just so that I'm not losing it on my overstimulating children. So sometimes it's not that awful to have a little bit of a crutch as long as it's within reason. So Kitty Foreman is going to be my vote.
somebody's happy in the background.
Right? I was like, let me go find that.
Gilmore moves on the ability of third place. Kitty has a chance in the finals. Kate starts us off. Is it Molly Weasley or Kangaroo?
Oh, this is hard. I love Kanga so much, but I'm good. I'm gonna 100% go with Molly Weasley. She has to be Kanga to 7 times more people than Kanga does.
Get to vote. Audience between Molly Weasley and Kangaroo. It is 30 to 40. Yep, 30 to 40. So Molly gets that one. I'm gonna go for Kanga on this one because even though Molly has to do it with like 7 kids, Kanga has to do it with like 7 different mental illnesses. That was not meant as a joke. I'm glad it got a pop, but still, like, because it's a definite. There's a I don't know if it's a fan theory has been proven or anything else, but it seems like every one of uh the Winnie the Pooh characters has a certain kind of mental illness type. Not sorry, a mental uh, a mental
Challenge.
impasse. I'm gonna go with a mental impasse, but it's not really a bad thing. I don't want it to be a bad thing because it's not really a bad thing on different things. But having a mental stopping point mental hurdle, that's what I'm gonna go off of. They each have a mental hurdle that they have to go off of. So having a kid that has friends and that you're all involved with too. So you're involved with all these people. Uh, Eeyore is depressed all the time. Tigger is just ADHD. Owl's just a fucking smartass, and nobody wants to deal with them. Um, Rabbit is uh,
OCD.
OCD. Thank you.
I think Al's autistic.
Yeah.
There you go. And I don't know
I
what.
know that, like, following up with what you said doesn't sound like a positive thing, but at the same time, most people that are autistic think outside of neurotypical people,
Yeah,
and neurotypical people have a hard time connecting with them, just like they have a hard time connecting with neurotypical people, which is why people get annoyed with Al so quickly.
which is also why I said it's not a mental illness. It's a mental hurdle type thing that we can all get over on that. So it's what we do. I don't know what Winnie the Pooh is off the top of my head, but this is all having a parent that has to deal with all these kids,
He has an
all these
eating
friends at one
disorder.
point. Has what?
An eating disorder. He overeats.
Okay, there you go. So having a kid that has all these friends together and still has to deal with all those together too, and just to be there for her kid. I like Molly Weasley. I really do like Molly Weasley, but as far as a mom goes, Molly Weasley has she's kind of got an easy way out, with the exception of the last book, where she's got to mess up some fools.
Yeah,
Kanga,
and have her son die.
well, eventually, yeah, but
Are you talking because she gets to send her kid to private school where she doesn't, she's just like, oh, just send me a report card. Let me know how they're
I
doing.
mean,
Like
kind
that,
of,
like easy.
kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's at times like I wouldn't mind being away from my kids for 6 months at a time. Well, 3 months because you got the winter break. So either way, I shot my shot on this one. I'm gonna go for Kanga. Bubbles, is it Kangaroo or Molly Weasley?
I think that Kanga is an awesome single mom to all the mental illnesses.
Hurdles.
There we go. Mental. I like that. I think I do like that a lot better. Mental hurdles. Um,
I take a bow, but
but
I'm sitting down.
I also don't often see Kanga doing much of like that motherly guidance, whereas I do see more of that from Mrs. Weasley. Like, so I'm gonna go ahead. I am gonna go with Molly Weasley on this, just because again I have more of a baseline for the actual mothering part of it.
And Harley, finish us up.
Okay, so I am like Kanga. All my children have some ADHD, autism, oppositional defiant disorder. They got something wrong. And myself, I have autism with ADHD. But I like Molly Weasley better because she is more the mother figure.
Molly Weasley moves on 4-1 to the next round. Third place, audience starts us off between Lorelai Gilmore um, and Kanga. And in a one vote difference between these two, and a 30-29, Kangaroo gets the audience vote off of that one. I I love Lorelai. I think she's an absolute delight. But I think as far as the motherness, and I think the reason why you don't see Kanga on the entire motherly role on the show is because the show's not about her. Whereas Molly Weasley was a staple point in the entire Harry Potter series. So
You said Lorelai Gilmore and Kanga.
yeah, we're we're in the third place.
You said Molly Weasley.
Sorry, I was looking at something else.
Well, because he was
You're right.
responding to what I had said earlier about
Yeah, that's what it was.
seeing more of Molly Weasley doing the mothering thing than Kanga,
Yeah,
and he was saying the reason that you see that. So it was kind of just a callback to what I had said.
and I was it wasn't my turn to talk before, so I couldn't
So he had to
flash
hold
back
on
on
to
that
the
one.
thought until his time.
Yeah, I had to hold on to it.
Just sticky note.
My lovely clear sticky notes that I have now. Um, but I'm gonna go either way. I'm gonna go with Kanga on this one. I'm gonna agree with the audience between Gilmore and Kanga. As a character, I love Lorelai more, but I think as a mom, I love Kanga more, even though she's not shown more as a mom because it's not the show's not wrapped around her, much like Gilmore Girls, where the show is wrapped around the relationship of those two. So, Kanga gets my vote. Bubbles, is it Kanga or Lorelai?
I'm gonna go with Kanga as well.
Gets the vote and the win for third place. Harley
I'm going with Lorelai.
and Kate.
Kanga.
4-1. Kanga gets third place. Finals. I start this one off. It is either going to be Kitty Foreman or Molly Weasley. In our finals for the audience vote, it ended up being Kitty Foreman, Lorelai Gilmore, and Molly Weasley in a triple threat match. Okay. Uh, I can't
Mom's
remember
family.
off the top of my head if Kanga was the opposite in on the semifinals. Um, no, it was the instead of Kanga, it was actually Sarah Connor in the opposite semifinal match on the movie side. But the other three of the final four ended up being the same thing that the audience had, and Molly Weasley won that one. I'm I'm gonna go with Kitty on this one. I like Molly. I think they're both great as parents, so I can't say anything about their entire parenting role. Um, Kitty has more of a character arc during the entire show, but there's also a TV show compared to a movie, so that's really hard to compare as well. So I'm just going to go off of what character I like more, and it's going to be Kitty Foreman of the two. So Kitty gets my vote. Um, would not be the two that I picked to go into the finals, but that's me. Bubbles, Kitty Foreman or Molly Weasley?
I'm gonna blow my load.
What she said.
Mhm.
I honestly forgot about that, by the way.
That's what she said.
That
Or
too,
the
yeah,
like,
half the time.
or the moan button.
No, actually, I was gonna wait on that, but so Bubbles has decided to blow her load
Oh!
just for fun. Let's go ahead and have Bubbles blow her load again.
Oh!
Since I forgot to blow my load, I might as well go ahead and play it too.
Oh!
And since the audience can't blow their load, let's go ahead and make sure they can do it too.
Oh! Why does this person sound like they're moaning while also falling off a cliff? Like just close to the goobies, like like
They're falling off the edge of the bed. That's what it was. All right, Harley, uh, Molly Weasley, Kitty Foreman.
Harley's gonna also blow her load.
Since I'm on that page.
oh!
Kate.
Well, I might as well fall off a cliff too. Oh!
I love it.
That's a lot of fucking moaning. All right, either way, the audience, in a vote of 40-41, there's a lot of close fucking votes today as far as the audiences go. It is going to be Kitty Foreman getting that particular vote. Bubbles blew her load. Is on the second trip around. Is it Kitty Foreman or Molly Weasley?
You know, are we actually doing a Sunday right if we're not moaning like that? Just saying. I feel like it's not a complete Sunday without the moaning.
And that's when
Um,
church starts, right?
exactly. Uh, I am, however, going to go ahead and I myself am going for Molly Weasley on this one.
Gets a vote, Harley.
Molly Weasley.
Gets another, which means all the marbles comes down to Kate. Kate, tie-breaking decision: is it Kitty Foreman or Molly Weasley?
Molly Weasley.
Okay, Molly Weasley gets the vote, and the win.
He had to
That
drink
is,
to that.
yeah. Cheers, Doctor Pepper Cherry. For anybody out there wondering what I'm drinking, I don't know if nobody is or not, but Molly Weasley wins it. Second place is Kitty Foreman, followed up by Kangaroo and Lorelai Gilmore. You can find Bubbles at.
You can find me right here on Bracket Bastards, or you can find me under Bubbles the Senator on TikTok.
You can find Harley at.
The Asylum with Harley and the Mod Squad Network.
You can find my lovely co-host Kate over at the Recasting Call at.
And at the recasting call. On all the social medias as Kate Laverne. The G is silent because I'm a quiet gangster. And also, you can get my books on Amazon.
1, 2, and 3 it is. You can find the audience, by the way, over at the Bracket Bastard, the audience vote every week. The audience currently is, or when the show goes, when the show is over and I can actually put it up there, it's going to be voting on Sex Life via movie title. So check that one out. That should be fun. I am your host, however, Freddie Fisher. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you're on Facebook, go ahead and check out anything else regarding brackets because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, including a previous guest who was on the show over at Bracket of Champions, where they are doing their final bracket. They're taking the winners of everything going on. So make sure to check that out from them. They have helped us over the last couple of years on ideas and a whole bunch of other stuff. So check that one out. On Twitter, I'm at Fisher777. We're all at Bracket Pod. And on Instagram, as always, you can find me at Can't Lick Me. Not one word. There it is. I threw away my sheet for a minute there. I like to end every single show with a quote. Today's quote comes from Bruce Springsteen in the song The Wish. And he says, "This one's for you, Ma." Have a good week, guys.